Jamaica is a beautiful place to visit, an amazing place to reside. However, there are some ugly truths about moving to Jamaica, and we're going to talk about some of those in this video, so let's jump into it.
The Jam Fam family. Jam Fam, come hang with me. Yeah.
Hello, Wagwan, big up yourself, whether you're there yard or you're there abroad. Welcome back to another episode of Life with the Jam Fams. In this video, we're going to be talking about some of the ugly truths of moving to Jamaica. And these are things that we're talking about here, not to lambast the country, but just to ensure that people who are making the choice to move back to Jamaica, so people who are repatriating to Jamaica or people who are choosing to come and live in Jamaica, so expatriate to Jamaica, need to have an understanding of some of these things that they're going to encounter and experience. It is part and parcel of the life experiences of those people who live on the island. Nonetheless, for people who don't know about it or people who haven't had the experience of it for decades, need to be conscious of these things so that they're fully prepared for when they move back, so that their move here can be sustained or go the full duration of how long they actually intend to stay here. One of the first things that you're going to be experiencing when you come on the island is you will start to recognize the levels of bureaucracy that is in place. The amount of hoops that you have to jump through, which are pointless hoops, by the way, that you need to jump through in order to get anything done that you want. And then the lack of accountability that comes with that. And therefore, it is important that you are very aware of this from the point in time that you're making up your mind and deciding that you're going to call Jamaica your residence. Some of your experiences will make you question the level of emotional intelligence in individuals and also make you question their level of efficiency and competence, because sometimes you are gobsmacked by some of the things that are becoming a challenge or that are prohibiting you from actually doing the things that you need to get done, regardless of the sector that you're in, and the amount of your time that you end up wasting because of the bureaucracy and also because of the lack of accountability. A lot of people will also highlight or include in things that you will hear about, talked about in certain spaces when you're here in the country, is the level of corruption and bribery that exists, which is where people expect that you will pay them to simply do the things that needs to be done anyway, and just so that you can expedite the process. And the fact of the matter is, yes, those people are doing the country and themselves an injustice because of the fact that they are clearly saying, although I'm being paid to do this and this is part and parcel of my role and responsibility, I need added incentive for me to be able to get this job done and do it properly. Nevertheless, these are some of the things that exist, not just in Jamaica, but you will find those in other parts of the world. What you find commonplace also in this same section is the level of gatekeeping, where people simply allow certain aspects of their insecurity and their intimidation by the things that you're going to be sharing or enlightening them about to make them freeze you out of certain opportunities and benefits that are clearly things that you should be experiencing. And on some occasions, you might find Jamaica to be a little bit insular in terms of the mannerisms of individuals, because it's as though they are ignorant and in some ways uninterested in your circumstance, your situation and your predicament, to treat it in a way that gets due regard, or to treat it in a way that showcase that they have expressed some level of understanding to your scenario and are going to be acting upon that accordingly. And these are some of the things that you might find frustrating and aggravating when you are here and dealing with individuals and with organizations and corporations. Now, one of the other things that you might recognize when you come here is a sense of victimhood. And this is taught. So people have learned this level of feeling as though they're a victim in lots of different scenarios, or a sense of helplessness, as though they are unable to do anything about the predicament that we're all being faced with at the moment. And this does not just happen in the society, it also happens in companies. So people who are on the front facing, dealing with you, seem to be helpless and have no way of trying to figure out how they can come to a solution in different situations that can bring about a win-win outcome for all parties that are involved. There is also the other element of where people seem to be short-sighted. So people don't seem to be planning for long-term issues in the far future. And that is something that can be off-putting to individuals who know that they planned out their situation and they have their vision board for a year, 2 years, 3 years in advance. And also taking it into the short term, they've planned out their day as to how they want to use it and spend it, and they are not being able to maximize it in the way that they were envisioning. This can also show up in people just deliberately becoming pedantic and petty, especially when they recognize that you are trying to hold them to account and explaining the impact that their actions have had on you. And then they want to make your life a little bit more rigorous, a little bit more difficult than it needs to be by holding hard line on the requirements for things or what you've supplied and provided. And yes, people can do this in lots of other areas. However, this is to just make you aware that these things are things that exist. They exist far too many times, and hence why they're getting a mention in this video. Additional one is that Jamaica has a floating currency, and as such you have currency sliding in terms of the value of it or the exchange rate of the currency, and this can give rise to inflation and price markups in a lot of way. And so in a short period of time you could see the price being one amount, and then in a short window of time the price has gone up because of all of these other factors that are impacting on your experience. And so when you are budgeting, it requires a lot of time and attention to detail to ensure that your budget is being reviewed frequently enough to allow you to be able to afford the things that you desire to afford on a day-to-day or month-by-month basis. For people moving with children and elderly in general, you might find that one of the issues you have is a lack of general leisure activities. So things outside of going to the beach or activities that involves things like those. There are limited amounts of those. So things like going to the cinema, miniature golfing, bowling, and activities like those are things that are far and few between if you find them in your locale. And so these are some of the things, especially families that are coming with children, can find that some of these things are not as readily available. Other things also include just things such as play parks and areas like that provides those type of facility for children to go and just socialize as well as have some outdoor fun is not as prevalent in majority of the areas. Gated communities do have these as part and parcel of their development, but most of the other estates that exist and suburban areas don't have as many. Some have none, and some have just a few. And so they are far and few between because, as you know, suburbs means a sprawl. And so they are far between where you need to travel to get to where they do exist in those communities. And the last one that I'm going to talk about is the importance of remembering that Jamaica is an ex-colonial country. And one of the things that didn't seem to get embedded in the Jamaican culture when independence happened was a key endeavor to ensure that we decolonize our mind and emancipate them in such a way that is going to take away some of the conditioning that we have from those era that will no longer serve us as an independent nation. And so there are values that exist from colonial times that limits our self-awareness and our growth and development as a country and as individuals. And oftentimes people either do not recognize them as such or believe that these are so traditional and core part of our everyday experience that they almost want to believe that it is also cultural. And this can, in a lot of regards, pose some difficulties and some challenges as you try to navigate your way in Jamaica when you either come here as a repat or come here as an expat. If you have moved to Jamaica as a repat or as an expat, tell us some of the things that you consider to be ugly truths about moving to Jamaica. We would like to hear some of those in the comments down below so that people can have an understanding of the experiences that we're having and create this community that we can talk about it here on this video. So we would appreciate you sharing those experiences with us.
Leona is going to show you her 400-meter strokes, which is butter, back, breast, front. Oh, Elliot, she's going to show you, which is what she said: butter, breast, back, and front. Those are the strokes she's going to do. So you're going to do it properly. So ready? It's okay. Yeah, thanks. Are you ready? 3, 2, 1. So this is her butterfly, which she is going to cheat on because she's going to go most of the way gliding. And then breasts. She likes this stroke. I think this one is most relaxing, I would think. I have been wanting some hominy porridge, and so I've decided I'm going to make some. So I washed the corn and leave it to soak overnight, and then I pressure cooked it for an hour, and so that's what it looks like now. And I've already gone ahead and put some flour, a little bit of cornmeal, and I've also put in some coconut milk powder in there, along with all of my different spices. So my pimento, my nutmeg, cinnamon, and vanilla already in there, and some salt. So now I'm going to put it in to the pot and just stir it in so it goes on and thick up, and then get myself sorted and ready to eat. Now I'm just going to leave it on a low flame to finish cooking down, and then I'll come back and sweeten it and show you what it looks like and give it a little taste. And now it's cooked enough. And so I've got some milk, condensed milk, and I'm just going to pour that in, and if it needs some more, then I'll open a new tin. I had already put some sugar in when I had done the whisk or the blend. So now I'm just going to let this milk go in. It's a little bit slow to come out because it was in the fridge. And then I'm going to just sweeten to taste, because all of the other bits went in the blend that I did. So I'll mix to taste, and that's it.
The Jam family. Where I living the good life. We're royal, cruising through the West Indies, having fun, enjoying the good life. Jam family, the Jam family, yeah. The Jam family. having fun, enjoying the good life. Jam Fam family, the Jam Fam family, yeah. Jam Fam, come hang with me. The Jam Fam family. Jam Fam, come hang with me, yeah.
Thank you so much for staying with us here on this another episode of Life with the Jam Fams. Bye for now, and we look forward to seeing you in the next one.